I don't know what's going on. Can y'all hear me on the meeting?
We can hear you, Karaleise.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, there's some distraction between the live and the meeting. All right. So who had their hand up? Who can go now? Let's go with yeah, go
Hi,
ahead.
girls.
Shravanti.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, good. I am into the role of business analyst for the DMV right now.
For what?
So here, but I do not have any prior experience. Just like I've done a couple of certifications, like Salesforce Business Analyst, kind of Scrum related stuff. Due to all this, like I was able to crack the interview. But the thing is, I was not having any prior experience. So my question is here, like I'm not sure how exactly the process of business analyst role starts with. So they asked me to do current process mapping first. So I am done with that. And then the next task is like requirements gathering for the future state. And also they're asking me to map the future, show the future state process map on Lucid. So my question is here, like first should I go ahead with future state, making the future state process on Lucid or getting the requirements? Because once we know like what exactly is the future state, then only I could able to write the requirements. Does that make sense? Or like
It
I'm
makes
not sure
sense.
how.
You said you were a business analyst, and where or what industry was this?
Motor vehicles,
Okay.
license and all.
Okay.
ID cards.
Gotcha. All right. So the thing about getting a business analyst job is that they want you to act and do the work of a business analyst, right? So for those of us who've never worked in the BA field before and somehow you cracked the interview or you got the job, now you're going to have to spend a lot of time getting up to speed because they're going to be asking you for things and they want deliverables and you don't have a lot of time to go learn it and then to deliver it at the quality that they expect, right? So you really have to like maybe work on weekends for yourself, like study, you have to do that. So if they're asking you for one of the things that I'm not sure if you're a junior or senior level, but typically the BA, we don't really get tasks where they ask you specifically for tasks. When they start asking you, I want a process flow, I want this, I want that, it's a bad sign. It means that they're giving you steps to get the job done. We expect that a BA would know what to do and be the one presenting that to us and saying, hey, here's a process flow map, here's the documentation, here's this approach I'm going to take. It has to be a little bit hands off because nobody wants to hold your hand the whole job, right? So because you're new, you're just learning, there is some grace. But you typically would need to do the requirement solicitation first so you can have a good sense of what is it that we need to build in the future state. If you just jump and try to design a future state process flow, it will be wrong because you don't know what you're solving. So the first thing you really have to do is the as is. That's why they ask you for the process flow map at the beginning, which is what are we doing now? How are we doing this process now? Where are the gaps in the process? What's wrong with what we're doing now? So we can do the analysis and then figure out how should we do it in the future. And when you do the future state, it's aspirational, right? This is what you love to happen. It doesn't mean that you're going to do all of it. So then you need to have refinements, discussions to figure out, can we actually do this? This would be our ideal. But if we can't get the ideal, what are the things that we could compromise on in order for us to do something and make it a little bit better as opposed to what we're doing today? Does that make sense? So you have to do the requirement solicitation first, and then you can do the future state process map. All right?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool.
Really helpful.
Awesome. All right. Who else we've got? Anybody else had their hand up? Annie, your hand is still up, by the way. You can lower it if you were just saying hi. All right, Rosaline, what do you have? Let's go.
Yeah. Morning. So I've been a practicing BA for some time, for a while now. But I do have an interview coming up for a net new implementation. I've been doing BA in the agile environment. However, this is a net new implementation project. I actually listened to one of your YouTube videos on banking application, and that looks like similar to what I'm going to be doing in the new role. But you were going to post the part 2 because I wanted to just understand the process involved when you go into such kind of.
I think I posted part 2.
Oh, you already did.
I think I did. Let me look. If you want, you can send me an email to karaleisblog@gmail.com, and I can forward you the link to the part 2 of that that video. Yeah, I think I posted it. This. She's talking about a video I've done, guys, where I go through an actual implementation that we did for a banking application. I went through all the steps of what the business analyst would do, from refinement, from discussions to documentation to presentation, all of it. So you get a good sense of how to work as a BA. But it was so long, I had to split it in 2 parts. So I think it's a part 2. I'll search my channel and I'll send it to you if you send me an email.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so I just wanted to understand because it also has to do with the credit union and everything similar project. So it's just to know what to do when you get in, like what's the first thing I need to do as a BA going into that new project? Is a net new implementation project for loan application. Is a lending platform application they're looking to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been banking, so I have a lot of examples from banking domain. So you could find a lot of help on my channel if you're specifically in banking, but everybody also finds it useful, right? Okay, who else we have? Coco, you have your hand up? Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to know the name of the video.
Oh gosh. I'd have to go look at I don't know, I named these things. I think it's something to do with case study, banking application case study, I think. I don't know. I'll have to look for it. Joshua, if you're on the call, can you just look at my channel for a case study video? Maybe we could post it in the chat and send it. But okay. You can also post my email, and I can respond to you with the link to the video via email also, if you send me an email.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So anybody else who's who's looking for a job, who's in the interview process, who needs some help with that, before we move on to people who already have a job? We've kind of already started down that path, but I wanted to structure it this way. Jennifer, go ahead.
Good morning. I'm so excited to finally be on your live.
Welcome.
It's like you've encouraged me so much without even knowing it, so I'm really excited to be here. I just bumped into this. I'm like, what? I can't believe this.
We have it, by the way, we have it the first Monday of every month. This is the first Monday of October, so we're having it today, but normally it's the first Monday of every month, so we can have a chance to chit-chat with each other. So yeah,
good. Look out for it. So I'm new in the field officially, even though I have quite a lot of years of experience, but I'm new in the field. I've just finished the course. I just finished SQL. I'm just getting ready, but I've not gotten any interviews. I'm even scared to start applying. So when I listened to your video last week and you were like, what is holding you? I'm like, okay, this question is for me. So I'm just like looking for the confidence, and I'm trying my best to avoid claiming what I'm not. So I just feel maybe I'm not good enough to start applying, even though I know a lot. So I'm just like, where do I start? I just feel I still need to gather a lot. I don't know, but that's the feeling. Even though I'm done with the course, and yeah.
One of the things is that I always encourage people. So I have a lot of people that do my consults, and I hear this all the time from people who are doing my consults. And the thing is, when will you feel ready? What does it take for you to feel ready to become a BA? You're never going to feel ready before you actually do the job. You heard Surathi, I hope I'm saying it right. She got the job, and now she's having to learn how to do it because now she's presented with the problems to solve. You don't want to get caught in this cycle of doing courses, reading, watching a ton of videos. And then when it's time to apply, don't apply. Don't feel confident, not doing it. You have to apply. If you don't apply, you don't learn the skill of interviewing. That's a skill too. Because you're going to get calls, hopefully, by the recruiters, and you're going to see what kinds of questions they ask you, and you're probably going to fumble the first couple questions. It's fine. You'll fumble the first couple questions, and then after a while you get the hang of, okay, how do I answer this question? You jump on YouTube, you look for my video, I tell you how to answer it. Okay, now they call you, now you know how to answer, right? Or you get it from your courses or somewhere. But you're going to become skilled at interviewing when you start applying and getting the calls. And one of those interviews is going to result in a job. You don't have to, and I say this in every single live, every single time I have a global BA setup, you don't have to pretend to be a senior BA to get a BA job, okay? So all of these boot camps are telling you, fake your resume, fake everything, lie on LinkedIn, just do a bunch of lies and get the job and figure it out later. You don't really have to do that. So if you're a person of integrity, you don't want to you feel fake, you don't have to be fake. You could have done the courses, done the boot camp, work in something else, and still have business analysis skills. We all got here from somewhere else. Back in the day, there was no degree for business analysis. So we all did something else. We did computer science, we did business administration, we did customer service, we did all kinds of stuff. And we all stumbled. We all stumbled into the career. We got our first job, and we didn't have to pretend to be senior BAs to get our first job. So that advice, it's not true. And I always encourage people to start as a BA, get a BA job, learn how to do the role, and in 2 years, a year and a half, you get to be a senior BA, you make a 6 figures, you're good. Right? So the advice that you have to pretend to be something else, you have to have this, all of your resume job need to stay senior BA, and that's the only way you're going to get a job. I mean, you could try that, but I don't recommend it,
Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
So you just need to start though, because you have the knowledge already. You've done the courses, you've done the videos, you have it in the head. If you don't have a reason to start formulating those ideas and doing those analysis, you'll never start. You're ready today. I encourage you today to go to LinkedIn and apply for a job. And I'm holding you accountable. So when we have our BA stand-up next month, I want you to join, and I'm going to pick on you specifically to ask you what you did.
I promise. Thank you so much, Karaleise. You're just so encouraging. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you help with CVs? Do you do any of those stuff?
I don't. Sorry. I have a consult that's called the Business Analyst Interview Success Blueprint Consult. I have a lot of success with it. You can check out my Google reviews. I have all 5-star reviews. And in that consult, as a part of it, there is a review of your resume, but I don't write the resume for you. But I can tell you if your resume stinks and if your resume is going to cost you the job. I can tell you, and I can tell you how to make it better. But I don't write it for you and just give you a resume. I want to make sure it's applicable to our field. All right? So you can consider doing that consult. You can get it from my website. Just go to karaleise.com and look for consultations. And it will be called the Business Analyst Interview Success Blueprint. Very, 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 very good for you. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jennifer. All right, we have a couple more people with their hands up. Tiffany, did I call you already? I'm sorry. I can't see who's first. Tiffany, do you want to go ahead, or did you go ahead already? I don't remember.
I didn't. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Hey. So thank you so much. I watched you years ago and I said, hey, I'm going to do this. So been in the industry more than about 3.5, 4 years now.
Nice.
Problem is that my last contract was about 15 months, ended because I think I told you, they gave me the award for blah, blah, whatever.
Yes, I remember you now. Yeah, you got the award for best consultant or something like that, was it?
Yeah, and I kept telling my firm, I was like, this company is very unorganized. I kept telling you, I said, this is a lot of stuff going on. They have us writing requirements, I have to redo it, and I give them suggestions. So they asked for honest feedback. And again, like someone else, I gave them the feedback, which I didn't want to do. And yeah, my contract ended. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't like that. They're very waterfall or agile. Waterfall agile. Mm-hmm. They're a legacy company with old traditional ways, and they want to stay that way. I won't say the name of the company.
That's fine.
However, they don't want us to be, they want this new, come in here with all these fresh ideas and da-da-da. They didn't really want that. So they waited until I pretty much got both of my bots done. I had everything because I work ahead, sprints ahead of time. All my requirements, user story, everything's done. Karaleise, I've been looking for a job now for 2 months. We're going on 2 months. I've gone through interview processes. I am a Black woman. I will say that, American-born, raised Black woman, and pride myself in going into the interview suited, booted, nice pumps, everything. And no, very light, if any, perfume. Don't even bombard any of that. And I speak this last interview because I'm so, like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, this is getting really depressing. And I didn't want to go on this last interview. I did not. And it was an all-male panel. It was 3 men. 2 were on camera because they were out of state, and 1 was there physically with me. But when he opened the door to let me into the business to talk with him, the way he looked at me, it was almost like, oh, you're Black, but your name is Tiffany.
Oh, really?
Felt some kind of way. Yeah, I felt some kind of way. So long story short, I don't know what else to do at this point because I've applied to well over 200 plus jobs. The easy applies as well as the company portal applies. I don't like this new thing in the business analyst role where they say, do you have any experience, 5+ years of payments and ACH? And do you know anything about ISO 20022? Do you have any SAP? What about S4HANA? Do you have that experience? Well, no, I don't. But if you give me an opportunity, I can learn it. Okay?
Yeah.
But you have to know it in order to get the job. What point? I can't lie because then I don't have the experience. But give me an opportunity. And they're not giving people the opportunity if you don't have the experience. But how do you? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. My 10-year-old daughter just said the other, because she's been watching me, like when she's not at school, and so I'm applying, but in the office and stuff, she sees my computer. Her game room is in the same room. And she's like, Mom, how come people want to hire people, but then they say you have to have experience? But then if you don't have experience, Mom, then why? And I said, a 10-year-old child.
She's got it.
10-year-old
That girl is smart. It's a smart kid.
So, Karaleise, I'm lost. I don't know what else to do. I'm just
All right, so I'll tell you. So let's start at the end. Two months is not really a long time to be in the job market, right? The job market it's just picked up. Like I was saying at the start of this call, it's just picked up around September-ish. People are trying to get somebody in before the year ends. But it's been pretty slow since, I would say, 2023, late part of 2022. It's been pretty slow. People have been out of a job sometimes well over a year. I don't want that for you, but I'm just giving you the reality of what's going on. So 2 months is not that long. So we start from there. So just keep at it. 200, it's volume and quality. So the volume of applications that you can put out there and the quality of your resume is what's going to do it to get the initial call. And the good thing is that you are getting calls, and some people are not even getting calls, right? But with your experience, I would expect you to get calls. So we have to look at the resume also to make sure the resumes are saying the right things so that you can attract the recruiters for that. So that's one. The other thing too is about the racism. I have felt some of this. I'm very oblivious typically because I walk into the room, I take over the room, right? I don't really care what you think about me. I'm just taking it over. But I have a video out there where I explain when I first got to this country, I was trying to look for a job. Now, my name is Karaleise Warman. There's nothing Black about my name. It's actually German because my ex-husband's family is in Germany. And when I applied for one of these jobs, it's a very big company, I went in there and I could see that they didn't expect this face. They did not expect this face. And I got into the interview room and the lady started switching up and started talking about a whole bunch of random things. I'm like, this is a business analyst interview, right? She started talking about, do you know Portuguese? You know, we have clients in Brazil. What does that have to do with the job here in the US? Like, it was so wild. There was nothing on the job description to talk about learning Portuguese or, you know, doing analysis in Portuguese or whatever. So I just knew that they were just throwing things in the interview to find a reason to disqualify me. So there's these, but that only happened to me once and it hasn't happened again. So there is something to be said about being a successful, articulate, well put together Black woman in corporate America. It's easier for other races and other genders. We have a barrier that we have to cross, but I trust and believe that I'm going in there to cross it. Okay? And in my personal experience, every time I get a job, or in my world, we move to different companies because I'm in consulting. So every time I get a new client, and I work with enterprise clients, large clients, there is this underlying doubt. Does she know what she's doing? You know? I have to prove every time, hey, after like a month, they keep quiet. And they start giving me the more complicated projects, and they're okay with me, and I show up and I represent. But there's always an underlying, like, it's not distrust, but like, because not most times I'm the only black woman in the room. Most times a room of executives, and they're all white men, unfortunately. But the thing is, you cannot take that, you cannot make that change who you are and how you show up, is the point, right? You show up as you, and you show up confident, and you will win them over. I'm not there to change anybody's minds about how they feel. I get in there, I do the job I'm there to do, and that's what I'm focused on, right? Eventually, they will, and even sometimes the compliments they give me is like, it belies that they didn't expect it. Like, oh my God, that workshop was so good. I was so impressed. It was, why are you so impressed, really? Why? Right? Because you didn't expect me to be able to do it, right? When other people come in, you are assumed to know what you're doing. You're just given the assumption, oh, this guy's in here, okay, let's just button up and do everything properly, because they assume you know what you're doing. And then you find out that these are the people who don't know anything that they're doing. So when I walk in as a black woman, now you have doubt and wondering if I can do it. Everybody's like crossing their fingers and hoping and praying. Why? After the first day of the workshop, everybody's relaxed and drinking coffee in the morning, and nobody's paying attention because I have it. I've got it, right? So that there's something to be said for that. But you can't let that stop you. You just have to push through barriers. You just have to keep going. You just have to show up. You know there's doubt, and then you blow them away, and then they keep quiet and disappear. So that's what you have to do. Now, the other part that you mentioned, it's a 4-part answer for this, was about knowing the specific tools, or knowing the specific industries or areas of a particular job. So for example, you're saying that they're asking you if you have knowledge in payments and ACH and S400 HANA, all of these different protocols. What I've found is that recruiters, God bless them, sometimes they don't know what they're doing. Let me just say it, right? So they have a job description from the company, and the company will put everything they want because it's a wish list. They would love to find somebody who has all of these wonderful things, so that when they come into the organization, they don't have to train them, they just plug them in and they just do everything. Well, that doesn't work in the real world, right? People have different things, and if you spend a lot of time trying to sift through all of your candidates to find these specifically one-off things, you can ask for it, but you don't have to find it, right? So they're going to ask for everything that they could ask for that's very niche down and very specific to the project that they're trying to get a person to work in. Your answer to them will always be that you've worked, let's say it's payments, and I work in banking, but I never worked on payments. I'll say I work in banking, and I'm a business analyst. It doesn't matter what the specific thing is. I have the techniques and the skills to be able to help you deliver the accurate and correct requirements. I have the skills to talk to the technical team. I have the skills to document your requirements. It doesn't matter what the requirement is. The skill that you need from me, which I will be able to provide for you, is to be able to make sure you have accurate documentation, good communication with the technical team, and be able to bring the project to life within the time. So I have all the skills regardless of what the project is about, right? So you have to be able to re-educate the recruiters, because they're looking for somebody to cross off the list. Remember, they're talking to people all day long, and they get people who are not good candidates all the while, and people who pretend to know everything and don't know anything. So you kind of have to, if you get a chance, in a very polite, professional way, re-emphasize that your skill is not just limited to payments or some ISO, 500 or whatever, ACH. It spans across any type of project. You are a functional business analyst. You can do it for whatever the project is about. You put me in a project for a car mart, I can get it done. You put me in a project for a bank, I can get it done. Put me in energy. It doesn't matter where you put me, because the skills that I'm bringing to the table will work for whichever project, and I don't have to be the subject matter expert because I have stakeholders that are subject matter expert, and I have the skill of how to elicit the requirements from them. So I don't have to know everything in the world because the people who know it are already there. So you have to be able to re-educate them on that. And the last part where you talked about the fact that you gave honest feedback and you felt like that's why the project, the contract was canceled. When you work with organizations, and you will know this over time, the people who are there, who have been there longer than you, they've gotten used to what they do. Sometimes the processes that are not right were created by them, and they champion it because it's their process. They're not looking for the good of the company, they're not looking for the good of the department and the product and the clients. They are married to their inefficient process. So you have to do your analysis. Figure out where somebody is open to your suggestion, and if they're not open, they just want you to fall in line, it's a contract job. Fall in line, do what you gotta do, get up, right? So I always say, if like, when I teach you guys how to write user stories, how to do better processes, all of these different things, you can, I've seen them work, and I know they work, that's why I tell you about them. Now you can take those, and if within your job function, you can make the change where you don't need somebody else to approve it, do that. But if it's something that's across like a team-wide change that would make the whole team better, and you don't feel like there is openness to receive that suggestion, you can slowly just change your part, and eventually they'll see how your part gets better, and then people start looking over like, what are you doing over there? Why is your thing going so clear? I'll give an example. I went to a company one time, and the way they wrote user stories was a complete mess. Nobody there had any training about agile. Nobody had formal business analysis training. People were just thrown in and just start doing stuff. And so you look at a user story, and it had pictures and tables, and the thing was like a mile long. It was so much stuff. It was hard to even know what the story was about. So when I came on board, I just wrote my story the way it's supposed to be written. I didn't have to say nothing to nobody. I didn't have to correct somebody, hey, you're writing a story too long, there's too much stuff in there, the developers can't figure out what they need to build. I don't have to say a word. I just write my story how I need to write it. And when refinement time comes, they pull up my story. Developers were amazed. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is so clear. Oh, and next thing you know, they are putting pressure on everybody else to write the stories like mine. Didn't have to say a word. So if you can change upward through what you do, that would be great. But if you're in an environment where people are archaic, they want to stay with the old system, you really can't change them. And because you're new and you're also contracted, you're not a part of the company, they have no reason to listen to you. So it's a sad reality, because you probably have better ideas that would make them better, but it's just a job, right? It's just a company. If they want to stay, archaic, we just have to live with it. So my final advice to you is keep applying, update your resume. 2 months is not that long. You just keep going, just pulling through. I know it feels long because you're like, I need to get this money, but just keep going. I feel like there is an uptick in the amount of people being hired in business analyst roles. So if you just keep going, I believe you get a job soon. All right, that was a long-winded answer, but I hope it helped you. All right,
I
cool.
100% agree with you, Karaleise. Our work speaks a lot. You'll get to know a lot about us looking at our work.
Yes, it does, Swati. Thank you so much. All right, so we only have a few minutes left. For people who already have a job, is there anything I can help you with in terms of how you're executing on your job that you have already? Swati, go ahead. And welcome again. Swati's been here, I think almost all of them, right, Swati?
Yes, Karaleise. I never miss your
welcome again. Awesome.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage to the people who are in the business analyst job or who are looking for it. So here we go, Karaleise. I just wanted to share this good news with you all. I'm excited to share this, that I've completed my first project with the company, and my contract has been extended for a new opportunity in a modernization project.
Hold on a second. This is where the gong comes in.
I've been waiting for this meeting, Karaleise. I got this news last week, so I would like to share this with you all.
Congratulations!
My last project is Karaleise, I think you remember, Karaleise, we discussed about data project, which I worked on, if you remember.
Yes, I remember it.
Yeah, so that's the thing is that the project manager left in between the project, and I'm able to take up everything, like doing a dual role, holding the business analyst as as a title, but I performed both the roles. So what I'm asked to do is that because the project manager left in between without the project completion, they asked me to handle both the existing project as well as the new project. Now I'm being extended my contract to address a new opportunity in a modernization project. So my question is, since this project, has already passed the initial planning phase and the requirement gathering phase, both are already completed, and we are moving into dev phase. That's the only information I was given to me so far. So I wanted to reach out for your guidance on what key areas I should focus on as a business analyst during this phase. Yes, Karaleise.
So in this project, so I make sure I understand you. You said there were 2 projects and the PM left mid-project and didn't wait to completion. So you were able to fill in for them. But this new project, are you in the capacity of the PM or the BA?
BA.
BA, okay. And it's a waterfall project?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because you mentioned that they already did the requirements that the analysis. Yes. Okay. So now you need to write the BRD. The BRD, yeah.
Okay, so what I need to look for is I need to ask them for the chat sessions they have documented so far, because I'm not involved into the requirement planning. I don't know what documents really they have with them. So I need to check with them to see the current state and future state process maps have been done or not.
So you start off by, sorry, I just want to say, when you start off by, since you're new and they've already done work before you join, you have to really kind of calibrate yourself. Where are we now? What have we done already? So what is the project about? What problem is the project really solving? So I know they'll say the project is to implement this system to do so and so. That's normally what they tell you. But what is the real problem? What is it that they face day to day in the system, in the processes? What is the minute details of the problem that we're trying to solve in this project? You need to figure that out. What have we done before? So did we have JAD sessions? Did we have workshops? Did we do process flows? So those things are supposedly done, but I'll tell you something. Sometimes people tell me they have written the BRD, and I say, okay, send me the BRD. And when I look, I'm like, what is this? Right? Just a bunch of stuff. So sometimes the quality of the work that others have said they've done doesn't meet my quality. I have to redo it. Not no shade to them, but you just have to make sure you have, because you're going to be responsible for it, so you have to make sure you understand it. So go back and see what they have done. You may need to meet with some of the stakeholders, not to rehash everything they've done already, but just to get a summary, just to make sure you're still aligned and you understand where they're coming from. So you just meet with them, like, try not to make it to an exhaustive meeting, but just like a quick touch point to make sure that what you have, and reconfirm with them what they've already said, so that they know that you understand it, and also you don't have to redo what the other person already did, and take it from there. Now you have a good grounding. Now you need to make sure you write the requirements documentation, and don't try to write all of the requirements and hand it over the fence. Right? It's waterfall, but please don't be an over the fence BA. Okay? I have a video about different types of BAs. Over the fence BA writes the requirement and then throws it over to a different team. Nobody knows what's in it. So write some of it, break it up section by section. When you finish a section and you have designs or flows or whatever, meet with the team, discuss it. This is what we're proposing to build. Find out if there's any questions, problems, issues, things that need to change. Do it even though it's waterfall. Try to have what would be equivalent of refinement. Try to discuss with the team so that by the time you're finished with your document, everybody would have at least seen it, some parts of it, and agreed to that part before you moved on. And then that's how you do it piecemeal, and eventually you'll hand it over to the technical team to build.
Understood, Karaleise. Thank you so much. Since this being a government project, they don't usually record the sessions. All that I can do is I need to ask the documents that are available with them and see how I can dig into it further. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karaleise.
Okay, hold on. I have one question over here. I've been ignoring the guys over here. I'm sorry, guys. So one person says, how to make storyline for data visualization charts and graphs. So that's a whole different world. Okay, if you're into data analysis, they normally call it business analyst, but it's not really business analyst, it's data analysis or business intelligence. So it depends on which tool you're working. I can't help you with what storyline is. You'd have to look at the tool. So can't help you with that one. Typical tools are, Tableau, Power BI, but it depends on which one you're using. Somebody says, Karaleise, please can you point me where to get jobs globally, like remote first companies that employ globally? Well, that would be a great thing if I knew that. Jobs globally. I mean, it depends on what part of the world you're in. There are some companies that are more open to global employees or contracted persons from different parts of the world than others. I don't know of a company that just explicitly says, I'm going to hire people from outside the country. There's lots of legality and employment rules and all this stuff. But if you're in, like, for example, India is a great example, because in India, there's a lot of people that do software development, business analysis for companies here in the US. So I would say you could probably look at their website, see if they're looking for anybody in those roles, and then you can reach out to them and see if they'll be open to somebody who's not from this country. But there isn't like a company I can think of that's just hiring only globally, unless it's an online job. You can also look at like contracts or short-term jobs on Upwork or on even Fiverr. Sometimes they want you to do little business analysis documentation here and there. So that's probably a way for you to get hired and get paid in US dollars if you're not living in the US. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. All right. So, and a lot of people here were saying congrats to you, Swathi.
Thank you all so much.
Awesome. All right. Who else we have? We have like 9 minutes to go before we end. Who else has something that they want to add?
Ruth.
Go ahead, Uche. Ego. Kyle. No? Okay. All right.
No, Ruth was asking a question. That's what I was saying.
Oh, Ruth. Sorry. Go ahead, Ruth. Did you put your hand down? You can go if you want now. Ruth disappeared. All right, Joshua, can you put in the chat the link to the idea board?
Okay, yeah.
So Ruth is asking about the courses. So I'll take. Oh, yeah, I see the link. I'll take the opportunity to tell you about what's coming up next for me. So I haven't been doing videos a lot these days because, one, I'm in some of the most complicated projects. I don't know why I'm so lucky to get them. And I just got told that I'm going to be switching to another project that's even worse. So, yeah. So I've been really swamped with work. But also, I am building out a membership platform that will help you guys to have access to each other. So I like that we come together once a month and we talk, but I want to extend it so that we have an environment where you can chat with each other. So maybe during the month you have a problem or you're like, okay, how do I write a BRD? For people especially who are new to the field and people like Jennifer who's scared to get started, if you had a membership to a bunch of us BAs who can give you the support, you'll be more confident to get the job because you know that if you have a question, there's a group of people that you could ask a question and somebody in there would probably be able to answer you, right? If I've written a BRD and I'm like, this is great, this was very successful, let me share it with the group, share it with the community. I can share it, take out whatever is, under NDA, make it generic, share it with you guys and you can copy and use that. So I want to create not just this forum, but also something that is more accessible, if that's the word, right? So that you all can talk to each other and then we can meet together also on forums like this, Global BA Standard, but also in talking about specific projects, right? How are we working on this specific project? How can we inform others of how to do it? How can we form our own best practices? We can learn from each other. There's so many people in this group and so many people that I reach out to me that have different expertise in different industries. How can we capitalize on that for the benefit of us? I've always said that I feel like the BA space is wide open for us. I feel like if you look at programming, there's a certain demographic of people that have taken over programming, right? You see them, you just know they're good programmers. project management, but BA is still open. We can make a big impact on this career. It's a 6-figure career. There is so much analysis involved. Every project is different. Every company is different. People do their agile differently. How can we help each other to excel in this so that I don't have to struggle with the same problem you're struggling with and you're struggling with? We actually have an answer and we make our lives easier, right? At the end of the day, it's a job, right? Nobody wants to spend more time doing the job than they have to. So if somebody has solved the problem, let's share it and let's see how we can use it in other companies. So I'm building out this platform. It's taken longer than I thought, to be honest with you. I thought it'd be ready for this this month, so I could announce it today, but it's gonna take another probably 2 or 3 weeks to finish. So that's one part of it. So that's the membership, where we have a chat, live chat, and you can share documents and things like that. The other piece of it is with meetings, right? So you'll have opportunity to meet with each other. You'll have stand-ups. We'll talk about different projects so you can get exposed to that. So it's not just join a membership and you only watch online things, but you have somebody to talk to also. And then the third part of it is the courses. So far I've been able to finish 4 courses. One is about being able to, how do you work on backend and API user stories. And I'm not going to share it right now because I don't want to give away my design and everything yet, but I'll just tell you what I've built. One is about best practices for writing user stories. Then there's another one that has a case study for how to work on a project from the beginning. Let's say you're clueless. You just get the job and they're like, project. What do you do? Like, where do you start? Who do you talk to? In that course, I even have recordings of the sessions I have with stakeholders so you can actually see how I do it. So we have that. And we have a few more. So I'm going to launch when I have like 6. I only have 2 more courses left to do. So now you have a place to go and watch the courses. It's going to be totally online. You can go through them. There's documents to download. There's quizzes to make sure you understand what you've learned. So there's a whole platform coming that I think will be very helpful. And I have, Joshua, what was the date that we set for this thing to launch again? Was it the first week in November, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, the first week in November, right. So Joshua's been helping me to QA. He's turned into a QA. He's been testing to make sure we get all of the links working right and everything's working right. I'm going to do a soft launch first. I have a waiting list. And Joshua, if you want to post a waiting list in the chat, there's a waiting list for you to join the waiting list, and then I'll reach out to you individually, and there might be some discounts and some launch benefits, etc. So join the waiting list so you can be notified when it goes live, but I would anticipate it to be live by this time next month. So I'm very excited about that. Been spending a lot of time working on that. A lot of time. Oh my God. So, so it's coming. So the courses are coming, the membership is coming, the community is coming, and it's not going to be like a Facebook community. We're using real tools that you use in the job. So we're using tools like Jira, like DevOps, like Slack. We're using the tools so that you practice with me with the tools. When you show up for your job, you know how to do it because you've been using the tools that we have in our space. Is the same tools they're using in corporate America. So you have a lot of exposure. So you'll have a lot of confidence and you'll be able to excel in your jobs, right? I want that for you. So that's what's coming. All right, I think we're at the end. We didn't get to go through the idea board. Let me go through it real quick. I think we're going to go over. So those of you who have to drop at the top of the hour, that's fine. Thank you for joining. But if you can stay a little bit longer, let me go through the idea board. Then we'll do that. I'm going to share this for those of you on the meeting. If you're on the live, you won't be able to see it, but I'll read it out for you. So our idea board, what's going well? So we have somebody saying UAT with a variety of folks. Our design is nailed down, so that's one less thing to worry about. So the good thing is, if you've run a UAT session, it can be quite involved. So if you've been successful at a UAT, kudos to you. Congrats. And I have a video that goes through extensive details about UAT, so you can watch that too. What's not going well? So the BAs are saying a lot of project management items. Data not ready to send to dev team, so it's a bit of a cart in front of the horse situation. Yes, sometimes on these projects, it feels like everything is backward. It feels like you are struggling to try to get your job done, but everybody else's job is like causing you to have delays. Remember that you are a BA, okay? Don't worry about the project management job. Focus on what you have to do as a BA, which is get these requirements delivered. I know you need to get the data to do that sometimes, but we tend to want to do everything. It's just in our nature. Focus on the BA role, right? And make sure your thing is done, because sometimes the project managers have you in their meetings and you spend time supporting the project manager and you don't get a chance to do your own thing. So just remember that your job, nobody can help you with. The project manager, everybody comes together to help them do their job. So focus on making sure your thing that you're responsible for is done properly, and just help where you can with the chaos, but don't take it personally, all right? Other thing that's not going well, not having clear requirements and acceptance criteria in the stories. So I'm not sure whose problem that is. You are the BA. You should be writing the clear acceptance criteria. You're not supposed to be receiving it from somebody else. So if it's not clear, then you didn't make it clear. I don't know whose comment this is, but you have to make sure that your acceptance criteria is clear, all right? And I have videos on how to do that. All right, what's not going well again? BA lead, not good at giving clear requests and not very supportive in providing tools. She asked the TA to gather requirements for the security test of one of our clients' tax software product. Let me see if I can read this clearly. With no SME support and only high-level training was provided. Then I started, and we don't support this system since it's an external tool. How do you recommend to approach this? All right, so basically you are working with a BA lead, and that person's directions is not very clear. She's asking somebody else to gather the requirements, and then the tool that you're using no longer works, and you're kind of confused as to how to do that. Is the person here that want to clarify this question? No. Okay. When you're working with a lead BA, they're a lead because they're supposed to be directing everybody else. Like, this is what I want you to work on, and they split the work. If you find that it's like not good directions, sometimes people get into leadership positions and they don't really know what they're doing. Don't be surprised that the people at the top, some of them didn't go up the chain, right? They just plopped at the top and they have no idea. Or you could be a BA, or you're working in some other field and you've been there long enough and they made you the lead. Who knows? So some people don't have the formal BA training that get into BA positions. So you just have to, without exposing them, because you have to work with them, you have to find ways to make sure what you're responsible for is done properly. You can't finger point, because it doesn't help anybody, right? You may have to just do the best you can with what's given to you, and sometimes you may have to do some of their job to make sure your job is done, but take it with a grain of salt that sometimes they don't know how to lead. And unfortunately, that's the situation you find yourself in, right? So, yeah. Okay, what's blocking you? Capacity. I do Salesforce admin and I love it, but it takes too much time. Well, you chose to be doing Salesforce, you know. In our world, I think a lot of us do more than we're asked to do, and the work itself, even if it's what we're supposed to do, the work itself is a lot, because a lot of it is thinking, doing analysis, and then talking to people, figuring things out, and by the time you're done that, the day is done and you haven't actually produced anything. So a lot of us work nights, we work late, we do more, we go above and beyond. But try to remember that, again, it's just a job. It's a good job, but it's a job. And you have to separate your professional life from your personal life. And when work ends, and your personal life picks up, right? Stop trying to bring work, overnight and work if you have to, you do, but don't make it a consistent thing, because you'll burn out, and that's not good for you, right? So try to avoid burnout as much as possible. Okay, last one is BA necessary tools as BA should know at the back of their hands, for example, SQL, Power BI, Advanced Excel, etc. That's what's blocking you. It depends on the role, right? Some roles require you to do a lot of database mining, for example, or you need to know a lot of SQL. If your company uses Power BI and they want you to pull some data and do some reports and stuff like that, then fine. But these are not necessarily tools that you have to master to be a BA. You don't have to master. And if you need to learn to do something for that particular task, then you go learn it. If you need to learn how to do a particular formula or write some, VBasic code in Excel or something, you'll do it. But don't try to learn everything about everything because you feel that's what a BA needs to know. If it calls for it, then you go learn. Like if I'm pulling data and I'm like, okay, how do I join these two tables so that I get only this? Okay, I go search. Show me how to do an inner join. And I see a SQL script. Okay, copy paste. Make your life easy. There's ChatGPT. There is Google. Like you don't have to learn and try to commit to memory all of these things. When you need it, you'll find it just in time. Just in time. All right? Okay. All right. We're a little over time, but that's what I have for you guys today. We have come to the end of our Global BA stand-up. Thank you for everybody on the live. I know I had to start and stop it a couple times, but I'm appreciating those of you who stayed here. Thank you for everybody who joined the meeting. I'm looking forward to our next Global BA stand-up where I'll be able to announce our membership. I'll be so happy for that. And I look forward to working with some of you in the consultations, meeting with some of you in the next Global BA stand-up, and maybe some of you will send me emails about stuff. Let me know when you get jobs. I like to celebrate people. So if you get an offer, or like Swati's case, she got promoted, let me know, because I really like to hear good news, right? So, so I'm very happy to hear that. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I saw somebody put their hand up. Did you want to say something before we go? No? Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Karaleise.
Bye, guys.
Wonderful week.
You too.
Let's go.